Okay, so throughout my whole existence, I've heard about these not college, Bible college, temporary gap year, 1 or 2 years.
Yeah.
Not really Bible college things. Okay. Is that Bible college?
Is that Bible college?
What do you call those?
Yeah.
So
there's I think there's a whole lot of different groups within that. Okay. So you've got like the things. Okay. So largely what we talked about last episode were colleges or universities that were accredited, right?
Yeah.
That had accreditation.
And these things are definitely not accredited.
Right. Then you've got a lot of, let's say, school of ministries, even quote unquote Bible colleges. They'll call them, Bible colleges.
Okay.
That do not have accreditation through like a regionally accredited school. Okay, for example. And so you've got, so for example, our church that I was associate pastor at, for 10 years, we had a school of ministry. Okay. Now our school of ministry was a gap year program for students coming out of high school before they go to college. They could spend a year with us year or two with us. And now one thing they could choose to do was have their time there and the courses there accredited through Logos University, which I mentioned last episode. Okay. And so they could have accredited through that, but they didn't have to. So a lot of the students chose not to. Majority of the students chose not to have it accredited.
Okay.
And because they were just more there for the experience, for the learning, they knew that they were going to go into jobs that, whether it was, being a teacher or an engineer or marketing or whatever, and that they weren't really concerned about having like an associate's degree of applied theology. For them,
they just wanted a year to F around.
No, come on, man. No, most of them wanted a year to grow closer in their relationship with Christ, to learn the Bible more, those kind of things, right? To prepare them for going to college. And so you got those kind of like...
To Bible college or to real college?
Either.
Okay.
And so, or maybe...
Is that a false equivalency?
Yeah.
Or dichotomy? Or whatever you call it?
Because...
Rome?
Yeah.
Sorry.
It doesn't even exist. I mean, so I think that it's really...
I have to leave that in now.
Oops. So, so there's a so for the Bible colleges, I mean, for some people, I mean, again, some Bible colleges are accredited, like you would, like your state university or private university, right? And then some are not. But so you got the gap year programs like what we had, where there was maybe a accreditation from like a Logos University type thing. Others have no accrediting background, or their accreditation, if you were, was just coming from a larger school of ministry that really is themselves not accredited either. But we're going through this large, this school of ministry, and you have these courses, and at the end of it you'll get a diploma or or a certificate or whatever of graduation from this larger group.
But that larger
group's not any more accredited than anybody else.
All their classes can go to this other
larger
group, and they're not accredited either.
That can't happen. That can't happen. And so I think a lot of the school of ministries, there's a lot of difference too in what that looks like and what it is. A lot of times it's not just studying, doctrine or theology. It's not just coursework.
Okay.
In other words, there's a lot of practical, hands-on type things as well. And so you're learning more like ministry, like how to do certain tasks or run certain ministries. That's like really more of what you're doing, as opposed to taking like Bible courses, like a Old Testament survey, New Testament survey, apologetics, worldviews, whatever it may be. You may not be taking those kind of courses. You're just, and so it's more like an internship almost.
So you're like learning how to make coffee in the coffee shop at a megachurch.
Yeah, that could be part of it.
Basically.
I mean, honestly, and not that you're not. And they may say, "Hey, we're going to take you through this, like this, we're going to go through the Bible in a year, or we're going to, like there." I'm not saying there's no educational component to it.
Okay,
but it may just not be as rigorous as what you would find, in an accredited type school.
Okay.
But again, ours that we ran, our kids were taking, multiple courses every quarter. And so they were taking 3 courses a quarter. And so it was, it was pretty rigorous for them.
Okay.
And so it just depends on how the different ministries are set up and ran. But then you also have like some churches will offer, hey, you can, like, we're going to all go through these courses together that's offered by this ministry, Okay. So they'll label it as like, we have a school of ministry and we're taking these courses offered by this other ministry. But again, kind of the same thing. It's not necessarily accredited, quote unquote. And I'm not saying the value of it is not good. I'm not saying the value of it's not there. We're just talking purely, is it accredited or not accredited?
Okay.
So, yeah.
All right.
Yeah, because I think a lot of the stuff, if I'm being honest, I think a lot of the stuff is actually really good. That's taught in these kind of environments, depending on who you're pulling it from. A lot of them are really good, and some of them aren't, but there's a lot that are.
It seems like I don't know what to do with my life, and if I hang out with Jesus for a year or 2 years, no one can say shit. You know what I mean? No one can get mad at me for
doing that.
Yeah, for doing that. So I'm going to go
hang out.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I'll be honest with you. If you're not sure what you want to do for a couple of years, it's not the worst thing in the world to do.
Right.
I mean, I really actually promote, my own child who's about to graduate high school in a little bit, I would love for my child to go do a gap year program.
I thought you didn't want him to be a pastor.
No, I don't necessarily want him to be a pastor. But do I want him to go to a gap year program and learn more about the Bible and grow in Christ and become a better leader? Yeah, I would love that for him. So go serve on the mission field for a while. That'd be awesome. So
okay,
yeah, I'm all for that. So I don't think it's the worst way to spend your time at all if you're unsure of what you're going to do. And I do think maybe can help bring some clarity to stuff. And I think we have to get away from the fact that people going to these kind of programs, like you just said, it's not just so they can go be pastors. That's not the point of it to me. Majority of the people that went through our program, our discipleship program, are not going into ministry. It was just to prepare them for life going forward with having even more solid foundation of the Bible and of theology, and just having a better worldview and be able to logically process what's happening through a biblical worldview. And so it was hopefully setting them up for the rest of their life, again, not just for going into ministry or ministry endeavors.
It's so they can learn how to carry the pastor's podium and water bottle up after worship during the service.
I mean, somebody's got to do it.
Someone's got to do it.
Yeah, might as well be an intern.
With their little headsets on and their all black clothes.
Right.
So they can't be seen in the background.
I love those parody skits about interns in mega churches and how they're never paid to do anything.
Yeah.
But they're required to work
parody, good one. It's not parody. Next question.